Hey y'all, hey! How y'all doing?
Welcome to the live.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so glad you guys are here.
If you guys can see this, we are crammed into a corner.
Because I decorated this space and I wanted us to use it.
She's been wanting us to use this space for I don't know how long, but we are here.
Yes, we are here. Hey, we hope you guys are ready for tonight. We are going to just do Q&A. And what we want is for you all to participate and send us your questions and scenarios that you want to help us work out. Kind of like when you're in school and you had math problems that were story problems. Well, we are going to help work through the solutions that you send us. And if there's something that's beyond our skill level, we have people for that.
Yeah. You see, guys, I'm looking around making sure everything is good to go, but we
Yes.
want to jump right into it because we know statistics have shown people don't like intros and this
They
long
don't.
stuff.
Y'all
They
don't
just want
like
to
that.
jump right into it. So we're going to just jump right into it. How about we start out? You want to do the scenario first and then just give them something to meditate on?
Yes.
How about we do that first?
Okay, let's do that first.
The questions came from some awesome people in the community. Miss T, we thank you so much for
Her
sending in
name
here. Miss
is
Raquel.
Her name is Raquel.
Thank you so much for sending in the questions. We appreciate it so much. Renee was telling me about the conversation and how much you guys enjoyed each other and talking to
Because
each
we
other.
is flesh of the
We
same
appreciate y'all.
flesh.
We see you saying hey.
Hey Raquel, how are
Hey.
you? So glad you're here.
So we're gonna start out with a little story time. So we paraphrasing this a little bit. I'm just gonna read it just like it kind of came, but I had to just not clean it up, but just kind of straighten it out just for brevity for the sake of the conversation. So we're gonna start it out with story time because we want you guys to start thinking about how would you answer this question. We're gonna answer it, but we want you guys to think about some advice that you would give to a friend who gave you this scenario. I wish I had like some story time music. But no, that's Jeopardy. But
okay, I will give you some story time. I'll give you some when we do the video.
Okay, yeah, we'll put story time behind this in the video.
Yes.
Okay, so you can exchange this out because this was a guy propositioning a lady. So,
yes.
So you can swap it out because it could go either way. So a guy had offered to take me to dinner. He was supposed to come. He was supposed to cook, and we've been talking about it with each other weeks on the phone. So he didn't get. The person didn't give a definitive answer, or she didn't give a definitive answer saying yes, we're going to do this. Until that day, it wasn't until the next day when he asked about the mid-afternoon time frame as far as about doing the dinner thing. So he asked her if you wanted what she wanted to eat and those things, and so she told him, gave it an order, just like that. Sound good to me. But you notice always a but. When she got there, there was no food, not even wine, not even snacks, not even water. This is all. It's almost like 7:30 in the evening. So imagine if your day starting at 6. If your day is 7:30 and ain't nothing there, okay, you can start thinking about how would you do. So he asked, and then had the well, I won't. It then asked, "Are you hungry?" Yet, but by the time you can tell, the mood is totally destroyed. You show up at 7 or 6, and you don't even think, I even have nothing ready to eat until 7:30. The person was completely turned off. She was turned off, and she was ready to go, and it showed all over the demeanor, And so, needless to say, the visit and the date didn't last too much longer after that. And then had the nerve to say, "Do you still want to go out on Friday?"
So
We let that marinate. So for the people that are already in here, you heard the story. So you think about it. You can put your comments in the chat. We'd love to see what you guys have to say about it.
yeah.
But we also got some questions that we wanted to go over tonight. We've been giving you guys some things about premarital and marital and dating and all that kind of stuff. But we got a lot of response from the videos and things like that. So we got some of the
Yes.
questions. So
These questions came from one person. And if you guys want to have your own special personal show, you can too. Just send us your questions and your scenario.
or even put them in the chat right now.
Yes.
We'll go right now.
Yes, and we'll do it right now as well.
Okay, so this is a one that we see a lot, honestly, when it comes to when you first starting dating. And the question is, what are some of the conversations that you should not be talking about on a first date when you first meet somebody?
I thought
That's an
that was a
interesting,
really, I
yeah.
thought that was a really important question because I think sometimes, it's different when you're dating when you're older. When you're dating when you're teenagers, it does not matter what you share because most of the time you really don't have that much to share. But as we get older and we're dating in different stages of our life, you've lived some life. So you have some things that you kind of have to understand. We did an episode about boundaries.
Mhm.
And again, we talk about boundaries are an inward swinging door towards us, not that we keeping people out, but that we're keeping ourselves back. And so when you think about boundaries, you just think about what will be too much for someone to know when they first meet you. You don't become vulnerable until trust is built.
I'm gonna throw one out there. I know a topic because you think about it. This is the early stage. You're just meeting
Hmm.
each other. You don't want to bring out. How about this one? Past relationships.
Yeah,
That's probably not a good topic because you've seen it in the past where people will start talking about
your ex.
their exes or they just broke up. If a lot of time has not passed, maybe you're already addressing some things that you probably shouldn't be talking about at this point,
Right.
at this stage in the relationship.
Hmm.
Asking some deeply personal intimate question like how much money you make.
Yeah. Hi, how you doing? How much money you make?
That
That's a
probably is
good
not
one.
a good telegraph as far as about longevity of a relationship.
Right.
That's getting a little bit personal. How about this one? Politics.
Yeah.
Until you really get to know a person, you may not want to dive into a hot button topics. And it doesn't necessarily have to be which side of a stance that you take
Yeah.
on. Try the whole purpose when you first meeting somebody is to get to know them.
Right.
So if you're just getting to know someone, you don't
But
want.
that has to be in levels.
Yes. Talk about the levels. Go
Yeah.
ahead, elaborate on
So
that one.
so understanding that there's the best way it was explained to me and it helped me to understand is that basically like the president. We know the president as the president, but his kids know him as dad. His wife knows him as husband. So it's the same person, but they don't all have the same level of relationships. So it's just important to understand that when you first meet someone, they're a stranger.
Yeah.
And so there are certain things you don't want to ask a stranger, and there's certain things you don't want to tell a stranger. And so it's just a matter of getting a feel for if you feel this is going to go beyond more than one date. And that's what the first date is, just to get to see if this, the first date is really just to see if there's any spark, if there's any chemistry, if there's any interest. You don't want to go beyond just you telling them all of your life secrets, all of your life story, and you just met.
It's important to have that compatibility. Let's just assume that you
Hmm.
have gotten past, yes, I'm interested in visually, you are appealing to me, they're appealing to you, so you're actually going on a date. But these are things that the question is actually talking about, things that you should just kind of steer away from those topics. Think about things that actually get you heated, when you're talking to somebody you do know very well. If you can't talk about your favorite sports team, maybe not want to bring that up. It's almost like you got to take it on a case by case basis, I would think, even when it comes to your own individual personalities and choices.
You know what I think would be really good, a good way to think of this is when you first meet someone, you're trying to get to know them.
Hmm.
Then you want to get to know their likes and dislikes.
Hmm.
Then you want to get to know their goals. Then you want to get to know their past. Then you want to get to know what their future goals are. So if you do it in layers like that, where you just don't start off with, hi, how you doing? What's your goals for the future? That's a little bit far. So it's you first trying to get to know the person. Then you're trying to get to know their likes and dislikes. You're trying to get to know their interests. You're trying to get to know just basically in the beginning, it's just trying to get to know things about the beginning of getting to know someone. You don't want to skip all the way to your past.
One thing that we always think about when we get new couples that we work with is we tell our couples now, you need to become a student of the person, of your
Right.
significant other. Well, the same thing can be applied to even in a first date.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to interrogate them, but you
You should
do
be
want to you
curious. You
should
should be
you
curious.
do want to talk to them and find out what is interesting to them,
Right.
where not that you're doing some like deep probative, background and secret investigative story trying to uncover, some mysteries of the world, but you do want to actually be curious about them and make them the center of the whole date.
Because people like to talk about themselves. And when you allow them to talk about themselves, then they should also then say, hey, well, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite, what's your favorite meal? Getting to know the person's likes and dislikes is basically something you want to do on the first date. You don't want to figure out, did they have childhood trauma? I mean, that's just on the first date. You shouldn't be asking, to me, on the first date, you shouldn't be asking about their past because you don't even know the person. So get to know the person before you start trying to figure out their past.
And if you got something that you want to chime in, throw it in the chat.
Please
We're
put it in
watching
the
it.
chat.
We're
Put it
watching
in the
it.
chat. Put it in the chat.
I'll let you start this one out, this question out. How do you dismiss those uncomfortable, basically none of your business questions that you may get?
Well, one of the things that I learned to do, because I did hair for 28 years, and people will ask you questions that are very inappropriate. And so I learned how to ask, when people would ask me a question I thought was inappropriate, I would answer the question back with a question. Like, they say, well, is that
Flipping a script on.
Yeah, is that your real hair color? Oh, are those your real teeth?
Yes, she did say that. I think in our world, where I'm from, the east side of Detroit, they would call that I'm capping on you. But I'm not gonna go down.
I'm only joking, but if you answer, I think sometimes it's easier to just answer a question with a question, put the question back on them. Well, how do you feel about that?
And maybe a better way to put it is deflect. Maybe
Yeah.
deflect the question away from the topic, change the subject matter.
Yes.
And redirect the attention or the conversation. Or you can even say, that's
I don't
none
think
of your,
that's inappropriate.
or
I don't think that's we're too early. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead. You go ahead.
I think it's probably that we're too early in our relationship for you to ask me a question like that. Just to be direct, to be clear.
One thing that we also teach our couples is using what's called I statements.
Mm-hmm.
When you are having a conflict or you have an issue with someone, it's always better to make it you problem.
Right.
It's a you problem, not a them problem.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that question. That seems a little bit too personal. I would really prefer that you didn't ask me something that personal.
I would prefer that you let us get to know each other before
a little
you ask
bit
me
better.
questions like that.
So that's almost like another way of saying that's none of your business.
Yeah.
Without saying it that way.
Because you can say anything, but it's all about your tone, your word selection, and your body language.
Tell them about the garbage can.
One of the things that I learned is that if someone brings you a beautiful meal and they put it on the trash can, you probably wouldn't want to eat it. So that helped me to understand that I might have the right sentiment and the right words, but if I present it with the wrong tone, the wrong body language, and the wrong order of words, I realize I have to lead with my need and not with my concern or the problem. Because if you lead with your need, then again, I have a problem. When this happens, so it's just a matter of just realizing that sometimes as us strong Black women,
let's just say strong women, period.
Yeah, but I can only speak about Black women because I am a Black woman. Is to understand that can be a benefit, and it can also be, it's a two-edged sword. You have to learn how, because a blade has two sides. Everybody don't need to get the sharp end of the blade. Sometimes you can just use the other end of the blade and push back without necessarily causing a major artery cut.
And I think sometimes it may even depend on your personality too. Some people who are, let's just call them, for the sake of this conversation we're having tonight, is type A people who are just straight, direct communicators. They would probably have no problem with telling people that's none of your business. But someone who is a little bit more reserved, more introverted, more quiet, they may kind of skirt around it. They may deflect. They may try to change the subject. They may try to even remove themselves from the conversation. If you're not in a one-on-one conversation, say if it's in a group setting, because the question really wasn't directed as a dating thing, but this would be applicable, I think, to any scenario that you may find yourself in.
One of the things the Lord really helped me with was, may the words of your mouth and the meditation of your heart be pleasing in my sight. I have to ask myself, are they going to say, oh, thank you, when I'm done saying it? Because it might be the truth. And my thing was, well, it was the truth. But making sure that you give the truth in love is really, really important. And that I think that when you have a strong personality, you have to make sure you're more conscious of not coming off hard or cold or short or rude.
Right. So I think we jumped. I think that's enough on that one.
Yes. Okay. So next
All
one.
right. Question number 3. How do you be more receptive in giving the benefit of the doubt?
I thought that was a really good question. And basically, it's how do you allow people to be human? If I had to, if I had to take that question and make it as simple as in a way that people get it is, how do you give people the benefit of the doubt without feeling like you're being taken advantage of? And I think that's the thing for us. Sometimes we don't want to feel like we're being taken advantage of.
Mhm.
And the best way to do that is to put yourself in their shoes. Empathy is I'm putting myself in your shoes. I'm trying to see it from your perspective. I don't automatically attribute what people are doing is that they're trying to hurt me. Sometimes people are just doing things not necessarily because they're trying to hurt you. It could be because they've been hurt. It could be because they've not been taught. It could be because they haven't really been in relationships enough to know what works for you.
I would even say it's always going to be an inward journey that you're going to
Hmm.
go. And I'm just take this question in the context of a relationship.
Hmm.
Um, when you are having a relationship and there may be expectations that you have that maybe they have been communicated or maybe they have not been
Yeah.
communicated. So when you are thinking about giving somebody the benefit of the doubt, normally a situation may like that may come up when it's on the negative end of a scenario. Personally, like they may have caused an offense or they may have been done something that you just don't like that just pushed a button the wrong way. You have to think about, don't make one situation the entirety of the
I love
whole
that.
relationship.
Yeah.
Let's just imagine you've been with this person for a little while. You have to look at their whole track record.
Hmm.
You have to look at the whole situation and try to take it in that context and not maybe blow it up. Not saying ignore it. There, now that's totally different.
Right.
Now, if you have seen a pattern of behavior, then maybe your spidey senses tingling is warranted. And you don't want to give that benefit of the doubt. That may be a higher calling of a trust issue that you may be having with this person. If they have continually not done and been accountable or held their words or been truthful to their words, then yeah, you have a right to be a little bit suspicious, I would say. But if you say giving the people the benefit of the doubt, that's more on you. I
Yeah.
think in that kind of goes back to personality wise, because I am a pessimist, I would say. And naturally, I'm just kind of always thinking of not everybody's negative, but I'm always thinking of the bad in the situation more than
Right.
I would think of the good in the situation. So if I'm thinking this person is out to get me, or this person's intentions or what they have done wasn't in the best light,
Right.
but I have to look at it in light of myself.
Yeah.
I have to do some inward journaling, inward looking, and saying, is this me or is this really them?
Yeah. That's
And
true.
oh, I thought you were going to comment.
No, I think that's true because I think a part of it is that understanding that we are all different, and it's a difference between giving someone the benefit of the doubt
Hmm.
and understanding that am I interacting with this person based on who they are, or am I interacting with them based on what has happened to me before in the
Right.
past? We have to make sure that we deal with the pain of our past because if not, every relationship that we go into is going to. Have you guys ever made tuna fish in a bowl, a plastic bowl?
Changing lanes. Changing lanes.
When you make tuna fish in a plastic bowl, everything tastes like tuna fish until you clean it out with some bleach. And so sometimes in our life, we treat everybody like they're the person before, and that is not fair to you, and it's also not fair to the next person. So we have to let God renew our mind. We have to walk in forgiveness so that we can go into each new day and each new relationship, treating the person, giving the person a new opportunity to show you something different.
Absolutely. So, y'all ready to start talking about that scenario, that story time? For those who are just joining us, we appreciate you guys
Hey!
joining us for the Thursday night session. We started out with a story time, and I can read it over again, but the gist of the story was, and I'll give you a brief abbreviated version. Someone asked you out to cook, and they say they're going to cook dinner for you.
Mhm.
They wait, you don't give them a direct response, you don't say yes or absolutely at the first chance, but later on you do say yes, and they basically ask you what you even want. They almost like take your order, but then when you show up for the date, they have nothing prepared, nothing even out for you to eat, drink, snack on. appetizers, nothing.
Nothing.
And then as you've been there, hour and a half later, they ask you, "Are you still hungry?" But
You hangry now.
yeah, you probably are hangry because then you would probably be done, like this person said they were, and the date wanted to end. And I need to take a sidebar. I want to clear something up right quick from last
Oh
week.
Lord, what?
I just want to say, if you watched the episode from last week, I did not put that girl out the
That wasn't
car.
last week. That was
Oh, it was a
two
week
weeks
before.
ago.
Well, we've been still getting comments on it, which is okay. But I wanted to make it clear that I did not put the person out the car. I just decided to end the date early where that person can just go ahead and enjoy the rest of their night because it already started out bad, just kind of like this date. So, Raquel, I don't blame you. I would have been like, I'm out. It wouldn't have took an hour and a half. I would have been like 20 minutes, like, yo, bro. Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm sorry. So
Okay.
that's the gist
So
of it. You want to address some of it?
so the first part of the thing is that we always talk about being assertive.
You want to explain for those who may not
Be,
have joined?
being okay, so being assertive means that you are clear in what you want and what you need, and that you're using a tone and body language that communicates your thoughts and your feelings, and not just, well, what you need and not just your emotions. Because sometimes we can allow our emotions to lead us, and then no one hears what we're saying because our emotions led us.
Mhm.
And so assertive just means, hey, I thought you said that we were going to have dinner tonight. It's like 6:15. Are we not, are you cooking? Am I cooking? What are we doing? Versus, I think some, it's like, and you only, Raquel, you know who this person is. You know, some people are just late people. Some people are forgetful people. Some people uh are just unorganized. So if I get to your house and you say we're gonna have dinner, if I get there at 6:15, no, actually, if I get there at 6 and I'm like, hey, you haven't started cooking yet. I don't see any pots out. Hey, what are we doing? Are we going out? So a part of it was, you don't want to give someone time to fail.
Mhm.
So if I get there at 6 and there's nothing cooked, I'm asking you at 6:05, what's going on? We not do you change the plan? Are we going out to dinner now, or did you decide to do something different? So that would be the first thing I saw.
So for me, it would be just like that date that I had with the person. If it's sometimes things start out, people show you who they are from the very beginning. If this was a first date at the very beginning, you should be trying to put your A game up. You should be
Mm-hmm.
trying. You should have smelt it in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Something cooking at least. That should have been a sign that man, this guy is actually putting forth some effort, even if it
Mm-hmm.
didn't taste great.
Mm-hmm.
At least you know that some effort is being put.
Put
If the
into it.
person and I think the expectation is there too. If you have, even though you may have clearly identified, hey, we doing dinner, well, maybe next time clarify it a little bit more. What are we having? What do we? I know you had expectations, but it's not on you. It's on the person who did the inviting, I would
Right.
say. So I would have been terminating the date long before an hour and a half. I wouldn't even. I was like, well, you seem to be not ready,
Mm-hmm.
and then you may want to give it a second thought if there is even going to be a second date, like you said at the end of that question, like, or if you think it's still worth it, give the person another shot, but go out to where the food is at least going to be in the
Right.
place that you can do.
Yeah, but I also think that that's a conversation to be had, because if you just, okay, there was no food and then you just left, did the person call you and say, hey, what's going on? I mean,
Hmm.
what
Follow up, yeah.
happened? That should be a conversation, because communication is so very, very, very important. If someone does something to me that I don't like, I am going to talk to them about it. I'm not going to
Right
talk
there
to
on the
every,
spot.
I want to know, hey, well, what's going on,
All right.
And so that's another thing, is that, we have to be clear on what we want and what we need. And then if something happens, we have to be willing to give the opportunity, the person the opportunity to share what happened.
Right. So we're gonna go to question number 4. How about this one? Should you tell your partner everything?
And I love,
Like conversations you have with your girlfriends. That was
no,
a part 2 to that.
yes.
Go ahead.
And I think that's a really valid, important question,
Mhm.
because we always talk about leaving your mother and father and cleaving to your wife.
That's what the Bible says.
That's what the Bible says. But that does not mean that if someone comes to me and talks to me in confidence, that I'm going to share that with Gil. because whatever I share with my girlfriends when we're talking, it's just us talking.
Mhm.
And even when we work with couples, if someone comes and talks to me, and Raquel knows, I ask her, I said, Raquel, is it okay to share your name? She's like, no, girl, I want people to know, because you don't want to put someone under the bus. So if you share something with me, it's between me and you. I share everything with Gil about me. I can't share everything with Gil about everybody else. That's
Mhm.
called gossip.
Mhm. That's exactly where I was gonna start. You kind of took that away from me, but you have to be careful that there's a difference between Renee and I confiding in something about someone. We If we say a scenario or something happened and it's brought to our attention, we're first going to pray for that person.
Yes.
And not to sound super uber spiritual or anything like that, because it's
Yeah.
something that is brought to your attention for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to do that. But the way the question was worded is, there are things like Renee said where you have to draw a line at, even in your intimate relationships that we have. While we know everything, there are times where we may be in a counseling mode or a
Mm-hmm.
coaching mode that a guy talking to me about guy stuff, I'm not going to share that with Renee.
Yeah.
You
That's not
know,
my business.
it's a not, especially a not
Look, going
specifically
back to the
about
other
this.
question, that's not my business.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to talk about maybe the principle or something like that, not even the details of what I'm
Mhm.
talking about. So somebody's confiding in you. No, but there is always things that you can be learning from every situation and every circumstance that you can share with each other to equip. Just kind of like what we're doing now with these Thursday nights. We're just hanging out and just talking and chatting. But those are things that you can actually share with each other, because we always said in our, just like in our episodes, we're stronger together.
Right.
Nobody knows everything. Nobody has it all together. We have all been through these situations and circumstances. While we are unique, our situations are not.
Yeah. And so that, I think that's important to understand, that marriage is the place where you are vulnerable. When I say being hot, honest, open, and transparent, you can be honest, open, and transparent about yourself, not anyone else.
Go ahead.
Hey, so I
Hey,
just,
Mr. Jim. Thank you, sir.
yeah, so I think it's just important to understand that marriage does not mean that you, like for me, I was a hairstylist. There are things that people talk to me in confidence. Whatever you talk to me in confidence, it's between us. It's not. And do so, but everything else, the other question was, do you tell your husband, what was the other question?
Like when somebody try to get your number.
Oh yeah. If someone tries to get my number, I'm gonna shut them down.
She's
I'm gonna shut them down. I, guys don't even look at me. If they do, I don't even know they're looking at me, because I am like this straight ahead. I am not approachable. I do this. If a guy
she's
tries to
showing the
talk to me,
rock, y'all.
I'm
That's what she
like,
does.
I will show that's my nice way. I do this. And then if they don't understand that, then I just totally ignore them and just,
You know what's funny? It's when you're in a healthy, good relationship, you don't even entertain other things. You don't get
yeah.
distracted about when everything is going right and flowing right in your relationship.
Mhm.
You are totally oblivious to outside things like that.
Yeah, because like if my sister is out with me, she was like, that guy was checking you out. I was like, what guy?
Exactly.
And so I don't, not that I don't see other people, because I do, but I don't give men eye contact. I I'm naturally friendly, but I had to learn that me being friendly was taken as me being flirtatious.
Mhm.
So now I don't even, I may do this, but
And then depending on where you're at, some people may take that the wrong way. They just you just being courteous and nice and just smiling and waving and just saying,
he
"Hey,"
want my number.
that means
He
that's
just
like
said
an
hi, girl.
invitation. So don't even do it. Go ahead, Miss Juanita. Go ahead with your question. We are monitoring it here. So go ahead,
Yes,
throw it up
put
there.
any
Thank you for
questions you
sharing it.
want.
Whatever
Thank
you
you,
want.
thank you. We're here for you. Here for your questions.
Because what that will do, talking about the last question, that will lead to things in the future. For example, if you do entertain it and then all of a sudden you tell them like this person was trying to pick you up, or this person was hitting on you, where however you want to describe it, that is an indicator of something else.
Yeah.
We always say conflict is an opportunity. Why are you telling your spouse or your significant other that somebody tried to pick you up?
Right.
I mean, you have, what is the motive? What is the thing? Do you want to get a response? Do
Mm-hmm.
you want to provoke? Do you want to do something that says make them jealous? Let's be honest. There are people out there who are
Especially if
in.
it's a stranger. Now, what's
Yeah.
different is if one of Gil's friends tries
Ooh.
to say something to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
I'm going to tell Gil, I'm not going to ignore that. That's something I will let him address because that's someone close to you. But a stranger? No.
Yeah, and it happens when you're just out on the street. There's nothing wrong with if you're
Gil thinks
attracted.
it's funny.
It is. It's like, bro, you don't want no parts of this. Trust me, you don't want no
You
parts.
don't want to.
It took 35 years to get this right, boy. You don't want. We're just being
Raquel
funny.
that. I told Raquel, I was like, Raquel, if Gil go to be with the Lord tomorrow,
I'm telling you, y'all.
I can't get
You see
married.
that? I mean, that took some work. You don't want no parts. No, I'm not.
It's like I told her, I said, if he would have passed away tomorrow, I could not be married again because Gil is a very unique, rare kind of man. And I am not stupid enough to think that there's 5 more out here just like him. Because they
You
are.
know
They
that
are
just like
not.
that question said previously. If we one of us went to be with the Lord, the other person would be like on a date talking about, you know what, with those topics that the first question, things that you don't talk about. Imagine a 35-year marriage, and it's gonna be hard
I
not to
wouldn't be no
compare,
good for
not to
nobody.
talk. Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't
yeah.
be no good for
So,
nobody.
so
Yeah.
what's the question, Miss? Is that what either? If you have it, you can put it in the chat, and we'll get to it.
Or either you can send it to us in our email at Rich Relationship.
If this is not the form for it,
Yeah,
that's
if
fine.
you want to ask a personal question and you want to be anonymous, send it to our email at richrelationshipsrefuge at gmail.com. And then we can answer your questions if it's personal. And let me know in the email if you want to be anonymous or if you don't have a problem with us talking openly. Because
publicizing
you're
it.
welcome to do that too.
Do we want to do these?
Yeah, it's game time, y'all. It's game time.
We
It's
appreciate
game
the
time.
questions, Miss Raquel. Thank you for
Raquel,
sharing
we
that.
love
Thank you for
you.
so you had your own show, girl.
Yeah, Raquel, you had your own show.
We
All the
appreciate it.
questions
Thank
you had.
you so
We
much.
love you.
So we're gonna give y'all a choice.
Wait a minute, Raquel, do we answer all your questions? Give us some chats, some hearts,
some thumbs up, or
some
if
something,
you have
some
something
how
else.
did we do?
So we have 2 topics. Renee has started something with these games. So with these card games, y'all, we got so many cards around here for different
I even
scenarios.
have a wheel.
Yeah, maybe the wheel will come out. It look like Wheel of Fortune. They got questions.
It's so much fun.
But we have more questions. So we know this is gonna be a mixed company. We know y'all got significant others and spouses. So do y'all want flirt questions or do y'all want talk questions?
Put it in the chat.
T or an F. T or an F in the chat if you want.
Either, and if you're not watching, if you watch it later on, put it in the chat. If you if
not, we just gonna ask one of each. If we don't get nothing in 10, I'm looking. I'm counting down in my mind. we just gonna bust open a pack.
Do 2 of each.
Okay, we'll just two of
each.
Talk. Okay. Thank you, Robin. Thank you. We said talk.
Thank you. Okay,
okay, we got
two
talk.
talks.
You know, because them flirt ones, they can get y'all. I mean, if you
got the other one, the ones that are bad are yeah. So we have some more card games.
See, y'all got to come to one of the retreats to get these.
The dare cards.
You don't want no parts of those. You don't want no parts of the dare cards.
Yeah.
So those are for adults.
That's in person.
Them for adults and grown folks.
If you guys go to our YouTube channel, we did a retreat, a getaway, and we played this game with another couple, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, it was just so much fun."
Yeah, those are couples only questions. Yeah. Married couples only.
Grown married
them
couples.
Grown folks questions, y'all. So we're not gonna do that. So talk. I'm gonna let Renee pick, and she just gonna. These are just random. So these are questions that you can share. Maybe like on that date. This is a question that you can start out with. So Renee says, okay, this is more for the women. Now I'm still gonna ask. I'm not gonna edit it. What hairstyle of your partners do you like the most? What hairstyle of your partner do you like the most?
Okay.
So that's one.
While y'all thinking of your answer, let me tell you, Gil has had a lot of hairstyles. Gil used to have a long jerry curl with a blonde tail. He has had his hair curled like
Prince.
Like Prince.
If you know Prince, I'm dating myself. I don't care.
He has had a jerry curled with a blonde tail.
Yeah, the ball fade.
A high top. I actually invented the high top with the crooked.
That's because when she was going to hairstyle in school, she couldn't cut hair, but I had to be the guinea pig. So she jacked me up, y'all. She hair jacked me. So I had the slant top. You remember that Bobby Brown cut? That was like I had that before he even thought about it. And my boys used to be like, "Dude, why are you letting her do that to you, man?" I got to.
and so and I am his barber still. I still cut Gil's hair.
Yeah.
So my
So
favorite
now
is-
it's just bald. Now it's just short.
It's not bald. It's short.
Okay, so see the single, Miss Raquel. So okay, you want? I'm single, so flirt. Okay, flirt for me. Okay,
Come on.
See, you knew I already broke him out. I was ringing. I was pulling this one. I'm gonna let Renee pull it, and I'll read
Okay.
it. Okay, she got it out. Okay, now this is actually a nice one. Write your partner a little poem. It could be funny, romantic, cute, or you fill in the blank. But so
or erotic, or just say sexy.
no, it just says and go. I don't know what.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's flirt. So just write them a poem or something romantic about that. So that's a flirt. So that's a flirt question. We got one more talk question. If you got another comment, oh my God. Yes, Miss Park. Yes, Mr. Parker. Yes, it's oh my God. But we're going back to talk now. We're gonna clean it up. So.
We go back and forth, back and forth.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
So this is another talk question. These questions are really designed to stimulate conversation with relationships, whether it's somebody, your significant other, your house, your spouse, even your friends. It's just really just to get okay. What gift do you think your partner would really, really want for Christmas? What do you think your partner? I already know what she wants, and we working on it, y'all. What gift do you think your partner really, really wants to get for Christmas? So that's the talk question.
I know what Gil would want. He would want a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van.
Yeah, that would be all right. But I said
Travato.
Yeah.
A Travato.
A new camper van, y'all. Y'all who knows us on the channel, we got an RV and we do RV travels and we do work with our couples on the RV. So we'll do that. But I just want a van now. So I'm gonna give you one more flirt question because we coming up on 40 minutes. So we coming up here. I know it goes by fast, y'all. So this is the last flirt question. So okay, we're gonna hopefully it won't be too much for you, Miss Parker. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you need to see the dare cards, baby. That have you blushing.
A week of rest. There
that have you blushing.
Uh-oh. Now see, you called it. This is it now. This is just for married folk, y'all. This is a married folk question.
I love these.
What is your bedroom taboo? What is your bedroom taboo? See, you ain't got.
I have one. I have one I can share.
Oh Lord! I hope we don't get kicked off of YouTube for this one. But go ahead.
A bedroom taboo is coming to bed with clothes on.
Okay.
That's a good one. I can say that.
I can deal with that one. Yeah, I like that. We're gonna put these questions in the chat. So I'm putting them aside now. So we're gonna put them in the chat. So
well, actually, Gil puts them in the chat, y'all. I'm so proud of him.
Lucky. So Ms. Lucky says she's absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning. Yes, she is.
Thank you.
What is your skin routine?
I always say it's prayer, good loving, fasting, and a plant-based lifestyle.
What was that second one?
Prayer.
Good no, the second one. Just the second one.
Good loving.
Oh, okay.
We have been plant-based for
this is our
8 years.
This is our 9th year.
Is it okay? Mm-hmm. And right now I am doing and I noticed that my skin looks different today too. I am doing a 20-day detox where I'm eating only raw. My skin looks the best when I do that. My skin routine is maybe get those wipes so I can show them the wipes that I use. Literally. For real. I have these wipes that I use on my face. I buy them because I wear bare minerals on my skin. So I use those wipes on my face and I just use that little thing of moisturizer and that little wipe. I'll show you what I use. But I think a big part of it is the way you eat. You know, I think that has a lot to do with it because I have vitiligo. That's why I have all these spots. So I always think it's fun when people say my skin is pretty. I have a skin, these. I'll put the link for these. I love these. I get these on Amazon. And it's just a white. But even Gil uses them. It gets all the oils.
Don't be telling my beauty secrets.
But this is what I use on my skin. I'm sorry, sidebar. That's what I use. And I use Johnson & Johnson's oil-free moisturizer. That's it. Nothing special.
Oh, shucks now. Well, we appreciate you guys. We thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. We thank you guys for the questions. If you got more questions, you can always reach us at the website, richrelationshiprefuge.com. We'll get them. We'll post them. Y'all see, out of all of our subscribers and all the people
And
who
Raquel
show
has a
follow-
gift coming, and so does Blanche. They have gifts
so
coming
we
to
will
them.
put these out there. We will, if you got a topic or something you want us to talk about, we actually do. We got tons of videos out there. Put it in the chat. Hit us up. Renee will answer the phone, y'all.
I
And
will.
She will talk.
And I will call you. For real. Raquel, why don't I call you? I'll call you. I'll talk to you.
So we appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
And we pray you guys have a good week. And we'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Next time, bring your friends and your family. Tell everybody. And please watch our long content. It helps our channel so much. Thank you.
And we love you guys. We'll see you guys. Remember,
next Thursday.
We are stronger together.
And you are more than enough.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you next Thursday. Love you.